Oh, I should have. I didn't think about it.
Should have.
Yeah. And the video started again. Wave now. Oh, weird thing. I don't know if I've done that since I was a kid.
What about
I
this
just-
one? Ever do that? I guess.
I don't. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Welcome back.
Yes. Welcome back to.
Two pods and a pea. Wait, what?
Two
peas in a pod?
Two peas in a pod. Two guys in a pod. Two men in a pod. We're men, right?
Good. We're good.
Manly men.
All right. Where'd we leave off, Dave?
Well, we left off talking about how if you buy a snake from the Driver Ranch, which is my family and I, you get a free feeder from Big Sal's.
Sounds like you copied somebody on that one.
Just about, yeah. And if you buy a snake from Big Sal's, you get a free feeder from Big Sal's.
Get your first meal in the house.
Yep. That's what we try to honor the same thing. That way, because it doesn't cost us much
Yeah.
to buy one feeder or whatever the case is. But
And it's nice to help people out. Sometimes you bring a new snake home, they don't always eat that first meal. You know what I mean? Sometimes they need that time to acclimate and they don't always take it. So it helps them out too a little bit, I think. Where if it doesn't eat the first meal, at least they didn't waste nothing,
Imagine if it was like that with having kids. You have a kid. Oh, don't
First
worry,
meal's
first
free.
bottle's on us.
Oh.
Yeah, because that helps. I mean, granted, you still got to feed your animals, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, whatever your feeding schedule is. But it's nice to know that first one, is free. And that's why we started offering the delivery service from here as much as we can, because you don't have the time hardly to get away from here to even run to the post office and come back. And Amber can't walk away from the register and go do a delivery, so that's why we started trying to do that.
Especially not with a toddler.
Yeah.
Tell you what, there's one thing, another thing that kind of sparked this video for me is something I saw on Facebook. This particular guy he's not in the snake world at all. He does gold and silver and jewelry, right? Buys and sells. But I seen a post from him last week, and it has a big picture, and it says, "If you're reading this, it's too late." And he goes on to rant about if he has something for sale, right? Say you got a necklace for $1,000, right? Gold necklace. And if you send him a message saying, will you take $850 for it or something, you know what I mean? But he's like, if you're reading this, it's too late. I'm done with the tire kickers. If you won't pay my price, go somewhere else. I'm not going to compete with nobody else. This, that, and the other. And he's just going on and on, just ranting about what he will not do for his customers, right? And I thought that was kind of weird because on the one side, I agree with it, right? No one likes to get cut down on price like that. If I have a snake for sale for $200 and you offered me $50, I would feel pretty disrespected over that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But it seems like most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time it's you're selling something for $2.25 and they offer $2. And you don't have to accept that. You can say no. That's not going to hurt nobody by saying no. But if you're on Facebook and like back to the other guy I told you about that was a snake, guy asked for one picture. There was only one picture on Morph Market, but he only asked for one picture of a close-up of the snake's face. And the seller screenshotted those messages and posted it to Facebook saying, basically, you're a tire kicker. Don't ask me for a picture when I've already posted a picture, this, that, and the other.
You posted one picture, though.
Yeah.
One picture of what you were selling.
And mind you, he didn't have the guy's name on the thread. But if it was me, you don't know how many snakes that person has. And I have a lot of snakes. So if I'm buying a snake, whether it's for me or to resell in the store, I'm not going to ask for more pictures. I'm not going to ask the details of, is it eating live or frozen? When was the last meal? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. However, Sometimes it's the person's first snake or first animal or first ball python.
That'll put a bad taste in your mouth.
You know what I mean? It might be a family, you know, a man, a wife, 2 kids. They're looking for their first snake that, mind you, that's a pet that's going to stay in the family for 25 years. And you don't want to send them one picture? They're trying to make this, you know, for you as a seller, it may not change your life any. But to the buyer, that might be as important as having another child. Mm-hmm. You know, some people treat their pets like their children, you know, and they love them like their children, and they want to know as much as they can before they make a purchase from anybody.
Yeah.
And if they were messaging to inquire about an animal and you screenshot their messages and put them on blast, I will never buy from you. No. If you want to make fun of me or call me a tire kicker because I asked to see a picture of the snake that I'm thinking about buying, like, that is so disrespectful. I got an even worse one. When I first got into the hobby, believe it or not, I loved this hobby simply for the fact of how helpful other people in the hobby were, right? I don't know if you can believe this now. We're talking about almost 10 years now. But when I first got into the hobby, it seemed like so many breeders and keepers, they were so happy to help each other, right? Well, a friend of mine had a boa, and we were going to do a trade deal. I think it was, I was giving up an albino ball python, and I was receiving a boa, right? And I got the boa, and somehow I seen this girl, a local girl, that I guess she only keeps boas, or boas are her big thing. Somehow I got into contact with her, and I asked her if my boa was a BCI or a BCC. I've been in the snake hobby for a month, maybe 2, and I just got my first boa, and it was already an adult. I mean, it was, you know, 3 or 4 years old at the time. I don't know what BCI or BCC means. I don't know what it is. And I asked her, and she explained it to me, and I was, you know, happy that she explained it to me. It was obvious I had a BCI. The next day I see on Facebook, this girl put me on blast. She didn't say my name, but she's making fun of people like me who don't even know what kind of animals they have. They don't know if it's BCI or BCC, which to me, that doesn't matter. I mean, that question comes to me a lot. You know, people asking if they have a BCI or a BCC. And, you know, if you have a pet snake, if you have a pet boa, it doesn't matter if it's a BCI or a BCC. Right. It's a boa, you know. Yeah. Why get so disrespectful to put someone on blast because they didn't know if it was a BCI or a BCC? And, you know, the thing is, we all started somewhere. Right? Mm-hmm. That girl who put me on blast, she started somewhere. She didn't wake up one day and have all the knowledge of all the reptiles in her head before she bought her first snake. Right. That doesn't happen. We all live and learn, you know, and a lot of people ask me questions. It drives me nuts. And I tell you, I'm all for great customer service, but you will hear me. If you know me enough, you'll hear me complain a lot about people that always want to talk to me, right? Now, we see over 1,000 people a month in the store, and it seems like every single one of them has a question specifically for me. They got to ask me, and I always stress that, like, I did not go to school for herpetology. I didn't even graduate high school. I got my GED, I got some college, nothing animal related, right? I got into the hobby because I had a pet snake, and I bought some rats to feed my snake, and I bred the rats, and I just read, I watched videos, and I learned through trial and error and experience and friends, and I'm learning just like everyone else learns. So when people beeline past 6 others that can help them just to ask me about their snake having a bad shed, I'm like, they can all answer that question. Yeah. It doesn't have to come from me, you know, but, and like, my desk, you know, my desk used to be right on the other side of this door, and I actually moved it like not even a week ago because sometimes I'm working on stuff on the computer, like I'm doing the bookkeeping, making posts for Facebook or just, handling website orders. But I'm at the computer and I have both my earbuds in. I was listening to something and I can see something like in my peripheral, and I look over and there's a guy standing in the doorway and he's waving his arms and he's whistling and clicking and he's trying to get my attention. So I take my earbud out and I'm like, is no one in the store? He says, no, they're out here. I said, oh, what do you need? He's like, I was just wondering if I can get, not today, but I'm wondering if I can get a male and a female rat. I said, when? He said, maybe in a month. I said, ask me in a month. Why? Like, you see, I'm working on a computer. I was actually working on something very important that I needed to concentrate for. And you know how it is when you're, think of it when you're in school. You have to concentrate on a test or a report, and you get pulled away on something. It's hard to get back into it. But I'm like, why was it that important that you had to bother me? You see, I'm working on something. Mind you, he don't know what I'm working on. But
it doesn't matter.
Happens again and again and again. And
you even have the sign, employees only.
Yeah.
Employees only. You got it twice right there.
Sunday, before we closed, we're back there. This door was shut because, one, we're getting ready to close. I was working on something. The baby was back there. Amber's feeding snakes. And a customer opens the door to tell Amber bye and stands there and is talking. And I'm like, I want to yell. Like, why are you opening that? Right. When you're at the dollar store, you don't open the office door. Employees only means don't open the door.
Right.
So it's like, please have respect. You see a door that says employees only or office or something. Have respect for whoever's behind there.
There's snakes eating back there. There's snakes breeding back there.
And it's like we're friends, and I've had to tell my friends this before. Sometimes you just have to set boundaries, You know that you can go back there and talk to me. But if that door was shut and we haven't spoke yet, I guarantee you're not going to walk back there without at least texting me when a door is shut.
Well, we've left how many times and we're just like, oh, where's Jim? Oh, he's in the back. Well, I'll talk to him later. And then, 5 minutes after you're texting me.
I'll text, don't say bye.
Right. Well, I didn't know what you were doing. You're like, just the other day, I show up here to grab some rats to take on a delivery. And I was going to talk to you about the time and date for the video. And then when they said you were in the back, I'm like, oh, I'll text them later or something. Like, I'm not going to try to bother you. Like, that should be just common sense. Like you said, you don't walk into Dollar General or Walmart or whatever and just start opening doors that say employees only and stuff like that.
Like I said, I try to set certain boundaries to keep myself sane and to just, you can have your best friend and there still be boundaries. Boundaries are important, And I'll take it back to Vienna. We had our where our cash register was. There's a desk and a chair.
I thought you were like threatening to take this back to Vienna. Like, I'll take it back to Vienna. Like, we'll just end this process here.
But Vienna was a very small store, and if someone is at my desk, right, at the Vienna store, and at the cash register, if I want to move away from the desk, I'm getting in whoever is at the register. We're getting in each other's way because it's such a tight fit, right? Well, we had friends that would always sit in my chair. So when I had to come to my desk, I'd have to say, please get out of there. And I finally, I printed a paper that says, if you don't work here, don't sit in this chair.
Yeah.
Like, this is my chair, and I'm not a germaphobe or nothing, but it's such a tight area.
When you need it, you need it.
And I don't want to, excuse me, I don't want to have to slide past people or whatever. And again, it's such a tiny spot. Please don't sit in my chair. And, employees only or whatever. And somebody that I seen every week for 2 years, because they saw the sign on that chair, completely quit coming. And you're talking, it's probably been 4 years since this moment. I've probably only seen that person twice since.
Over a chair.
And it's the boundaries. And it's like, if being my friend means you have to sit in my office chair at my desk, you know what I mean? It's something so goofy. There was never anything disrespectful being said. But on the same notion, if I would have yelled at the person that walked through the door on Sunday, they probably would not have come back for a month. You know what I mean? And that's how it is with certain people. It's like, hey, can you please not open this door? And then they don't come out for a few weeks because they're mad. They're upset that I had to kind of enforce the boundary.
Wow.
And it's like, I just want to be treated with the same respect that I give to other people. You know what I mean? And it's hard to do in this world because respect and kindness and everything is definitely dwindling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely the morale in this world is very, we're in a tough spot right
And we
now.
see that at the show all the time too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if every average Joe that walks in there and comes up to the Big Sal's table is expecting to see you,
Mm-hmm.
but when they see it's my wife and I, sometimes it's this whole like, well, who are you? And that's a whole nother thing I'm not going to get into, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of the same
questioning
thing.
you, like-
we get disrespected because we're helping run your table, and it's like, well, we're doing this to help you out. Like,
Yeah.
you own the show. You're running the whole thing, and then Kayla works for you for the show as well, and then it's like I'm helping at the table. She's at the table, and Amber is running up the front and everything there with the tickets and stuff. You can't just be everywhere doing everything.
Yeah.
So we offer to help run the table, and
Yeah, and some people just get real
they
ignorant
just
about
can't.
it.
They can't stand that it's someone new.
Yeah.
And
I always joke I wish I could clone myself because I'm always needed everywhere at once, and it's like it's so hard to keep up with everything. I tell our workers when they have a problem that they're faced with, I tell them try to solve the problem on your own first without bringing it to me, because I would rather you solve the problem and be wrong. We could correct it later, but I'd rather you solve the problem and be wrong than bringing it to me every single time.
Every second of the
because
day,
it takes a lot of
everything,
time, and it takes time away from me doing what only I can do, like bookkeeping or advertising.
And then you have the mental game after that.
Yeah.
Wondering, can they handle this?
Yeah.
Can they do this? Like, you tell them, I need you to go and do this now, and then you start thinking they're going to run into these 10 issues right here, and then you're going to get pulled away from it.
So, and it's good if everyone can problem solve on their own. It's obviously not ideal. It's not always going to happen that way. But if they were able to problem solve out here, and a worker in the rodents is problem solving there, then they're not bringing me every issue. It's helping them. If they're having to do their own problem solving, that's building those muscles to be a better problem solver. You know, and if they did problem solve and they come to the wrong conclusion or something different than I would have done, then I could be like, hey, you know what? You did good, but I would have done it this way instead.
You had the
I would have
effort.
told them this way, and then they can grow off of that and do better on the next problem. But if they bring every problem to me, and if I'm solving every problem for them, they'll never learn how to solve their own problems. It's kind of like kids. You have to let your kids fall down sometimes to learn how to walk and to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. We can't save them every single time because once they're an adult, no one's going to be able to save them from every mistake. Sometimes you have to make your own mistakes in order to grow and learn from it.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going a little off topic of customer service at the moment.
Well,
but
when do we ever stay right on topic?
Right? What is the topic? Huh? It changes.
Well, that's right. You were threatening to move this whole thing back to Vienna. That's what it was.
We'll do better. We'll take it back to Struthers in the garage.